I'm not going for 2 minutes. Oh, you think that's 10 minutes? The whole thing. Okay. Go ahead, go ahead.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Good morning, Double Deuce. How you doing? So I'm Zelonis here. I know everybody's excited to talk about awards and decorations this morning. So I started with a fun video. Unfortunately, my slides are not as long as I would have liked them. Maybe 102, 103 would have been a little bit better, but unfortunately I can only squeeze a few in there. Just as an introduction, I'm going to be talking a little bit today about the fun Decor 6 process. There is a little bit of confusion in the squadron as to how that starts, how it works. So I'm here to talk about the Decor 6 approval and denial process. After that, I will transition to the hiding Lieutenant Fry over here and how to create your binder in VPC for EPRs. With that, let's start the fun slides. All right, we got some dancing bananas here to go along with our song. Peanut butter jelly time, just to kind of wake you guys up. If you could, please go to the next slide. Yay. Keep going. Keep going. Slide. Slide. Decor 6 process. All right, so what is the Decor 6 for? The Decor 6 is for all awards, Air Force Commendation Medals, Meritorious Service Medals, Air Force Achievement Medals. However, the process is only automatically started. The process that I'm going to be talking about is only for 3 current situations, 3 types of situations. That is a PCS, a retirement, and a separation. So you as the supervisor will automatically get an email from the awards and decks section, which will start the process. However, it's only for retirements, separations, and PCSs. Those time on station awards will be extended tour awards will not be automatically emailed to you. That is still up to the section to figure that out, to track those times. Slide, please. So first we'll start talking about the Decor 6, if it is awarded, if they make that decision. Slide, please. All right, the whole process is going to start off with the awards and decks, getting an email from the wing. You don't really need to know about that. Where it starts with you is the awards and decks section will send you an email. Could you please click the hyperlink underline A&D email? Can they see that? Can they see that on? Well, I've got hyperlinked while Sergeant Number Check figures out hopefully how to share it with you. Basically, what the email that you'll receive for an awards process to start to notify you that your supervisee is due an award will look like either what is generally known as a training rip and or a shell in VPC. It's just a generic email, very Air Force looking, and it'll say attention to supervisor's name for, and then it'll have the person who's due an award. This person is due an award if, there you go, did you share it? Okay, so it's from Career Enhancements. Basically, all we're using this for is a notification. So we as awards and decks will get it. We will forward it to whomever the supervisor is, and that will notify them that they need to then start the process of creating a VPC site and start writing or requesting a VPC site and writing an award for their member. Next slide, please. The idea behind this is then that email will then generate discussion. There's 2 ways to get approval. So if the idea of doing it the easy way was that we would have a verbal approval, which means that you as a supervisor will then go talk to the RMs, to the first shirt, to the commander, to whomever is appropriate and get that verbal justification. Yes, the airman is good for approval. However, we're doing those at the end of day. However, if everybody's not available, then we also do have a form that can be used. The Awards and Deck section has it if you want to request it. There's also a hyperlink if you want to show them what it looks like, Kurt. So if you want to do this remotely and you do want to do it via email instead of in person, this is the form that you'll use. No. Okay. Suffice it to say, if you are trying to get approval from members in the squadron and you're not at end of day and you can't get an approval, and you want to do it via email, just come to the Awards and Decks shop, just email our work box and we'll send it to you. It's basically just a routing slip that has everybody's name listed on it and a yes or no on it. With that, once we get approval from the appropriate people, a VPC site will be created by Awards and Decks. However, there are several things that we need to create the VPC site for you, the information. This is also a hyperlink. Click on it. It should just bring up the next slide, I hope. Or just click to the next slide. All right, so items that Awards and Decks needs to create a VPC site from you. We need the name, rank, and duty title. We pretty much already figured that out. The period of awards, the dates, the type of award, the reason for award, and the binder. Now, this binder is going to contain a CERF, EPRs, LOEs, MFRs, and PT scores. We can get the CERF ourselves. However, we don't have access currently to the EPRs and PT scores and the period of award. Those are the things highlighted in blue that you as a supervisor will need to provide to the Awards and Decks shop. Lieutenant Fry will talk more about how to build binders later. Same type of binder for an EPR. If you guys can build those binders, then you can build them and send them to us. Next slide, please. So the denial process. The Decor 6 process becomes different when you are doing a denial. This is when it actually gets more stringent, if you will. So the process is going to start out the same way. With the Awards and Decks is still going to send you an email to the supervisor. The supervisor will then get that in that email, have that official Decor 6, which is the document that we pulled up earlier. That is the same document you use. If for whatever reason your airman is denied, then you take that email and you will have to route that up to the commander. Actually, you as the supervisor will sign it, and then the commander will sign it, and then send it back to Awards and Decks. And that will serve as an official record that the airman has been denied a medal. After that, if a VPC site was created ahead of time, then only the commander can delete it. That's pretty much it. Next slide, please. Are there any questions? If there are no questions on the Decor 6 process, I will just briefly talk about the services Awards and Decks provides you. So we are tracking your air medals and your aerial achievement medals for you, just so you all are aware. We're figuring out the process of how we're going to work it all out. But the short version is after 20 missions of either combat or combat support, you will receive an air medal or an aerial achievement medal, whichever applies. Also, combat readiness medals. So for those of you that don't know, if you go 2 years without having a Q3 or any other negative derogatory information, i.e. you don't get any bad paperwork, then it's up to the commander, but he generally approves a combat readiness medal for you. So we are tracking that as well. But unless there's any amazing questions or any other questions. Kurt, would you like to? Okay. Lieutenant Fry is going to come up and talk about your binder building process.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Lieutenant Fry. I work in your CSS, and today I just wanted to go over how to build the VPC binder. Now, I'm not asking you to build a site in VPC. This is the binder that includes your PT score, your CERF, and your EPRs. So this is important because it's very hard for us to do that for 240 people like we have done. So I know this is a new process for you. But this is what's used for your EPRs and for your decorations. So leadership uses the information that you post in VPC, use this information for force distribution and essentially assessing your performance. So it's important that as we're building these binders, you make sure, we can't say it enough, that you review those records and make sure that things are correct. But I'm going to focus on the how to build. So, sir, if you want the slides. Yep. You want to make sure, as these slides are coming up, you want to make sure that you are using Internet Explorer, right? The very first thing that we're going to do is show you how to pull your fit rep, and that will not work if you're in Chrome or any other thing. Sorry, Internet Explorer. Sir. We're going to start with the CSS SharePoint because I really want you to get used to this site. Off to the left, I know that's not what this is about, but off to the left, you're going to see how-to guides, and there's a VPC how to build your binder. There's also in processing and out processing. I think this should be your first step. But off to the right, you will see AFPC secure, and that should take you right to that website. Sir. Oh, this is just explaining that you can also find all of these things I'm about to share with you. You can find them on the portal if you're not sure how to get to the CSS SharePoint. Slide, please. I went step by step on this, so please be patient with me. Click OK. And here are the 3 places that we're going to go. We're going to start with your FitRep, AMS, and then Prada. So in this time, you would click Athens 2 for your FitRep. Here is where you're going to hover over the reports. This is why you need to use Internet Explorer, because it will not work in Chrome. You're going to hover over reports and click on My Report. And you're going to save this fitness tracker as a PDF. It's an icon right in the middle over to the right. And as soon as you click on that, it will pop up with more steps. Okay, so the first one that pops up is right there on the left-hand side. You're going to want to make sure this is PDF form. All of the documents need to be in PDF or else we won't be able to save them correctly as a binder. So when you pull it up initially, that icon is already clicked for PDF, but just make sure. Then you're going to click Run Report, and on the right is when it pops up and says, hey, do you want to open or save? That's your call. You can open and save, or you can save. So that's how to pull your FitRep. Okay, next one is going to be AMS to pull your SURF. Okay, so when you get to AMS, you're going to hover over that personal information on the right, and you go to my career brief. Okay, so if you don't know what a SURF is, this is mine. You're just going to look very similar. More information since I'm just a brand new lieutenant. But this is essentially, as Sergeant Nemechek calls it, your career vitals. Okay, this is a collection of your entire career. So you're going to see oh my gosh, my security clearance is on there, my date of rank, the day that I got here to the unit, duty titles, decorations, my education, PME. This is everything in your career. So please look at it and make sure that it's correct. Anything that's incorrect, it's much easier to fix sooner rather than you get further down in your career. So when it pops up like this, when you consolidate, you're going to print your SURF to Adobe or print PDF, Microsoft PDF, that's what you're going to do, and save it to essentially your desktop would probably be the best spot. Next, sir. Okay, next part we're going to go to is Prada. This is just making sure when you first get to Prada, you want to make sure that at the very top you're in member, because for some supervisors you're able to pull your troops information. So you want to make sure that it says member at the top to pull your own information, and then make sure that you click on Prada to the left. And so this is what pops up initially. This is everything in your career. It's just the actual documents. So you're going to see your SGLI in there. I think my PCS orders, some are in there. Enlisted boards, you'll have their information in here as well. But we're just going to focus on the performance reports and your decorations. But I really encourage you to go back and look and make sure that all the good stuff's in there.
Lisa always says check your records.
Oh, as Lisa would say, check your records. But all that stuff is very specific to you. It's not something that I can pull up and check for you. And again, it's your career, so I want to make sure the information is correct for you. So when you click on decorations over to the left, all of your decorations pop up, right? You can't, I mean, I don't need these for the VPC site, right? It's not, but you guys might need them, would you? I'm looking at you, Sergeant Zelonis. You guys would never need these, right? I apologize. I wanted to make sure that there was no need for you to ever see the other decorations.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the decorations part is really just for you, but you're able to pull your EPRs. So you can save this multiple ways. You can click over on that right-hand side where it says selected documents. You can click all of your EPRs and then get documents and save, or you can individually open them and save. Can you go to the next slide, please? That's basically what this says, right? So you can get all your documents at once in a zip file, or you can just open them up individually and check them, and then you're going to save. Next slide, please. Same thing I just said. Okay, this is what it looks like. Again, this was very step-by-step so that you know exactly what we're looking for. You're going to want to Microsoft print to PDF so that's in the right format so we can build a binder. Slide, please. Okay, so you pulled your SERP, you pulled your FitRep, your EPR, making sure that all that information is correct. If it's not, then please get with the CSS so that we can help fix the information. So next, what we're going to do is get your shell from VPC. So again, we start at the CSS SharePoint and click on VPC. Or you have this link, and these slides, again, are on the CSS SharePoint, so you can copy, paste, or click on the hyperlink to get to these locations. Next, sir. Okay, this looks like a lot, but it really is a step-by-step. So if you first, my purse pops up or VPC pops up, right? You're going to click on that work list. That's what you're essentially working out of. Make sure that you can see right there in the middle where it says action requests. You want to view those that are viewable to you. We're looking for evaluations, and the last name we're looking for is Franchette. And you're going to want to click that refresh button, right? So really, you're just narrowing it down. I want to see things that are viewable to me. I want to make sure they're evaluations, and I want to see, in this case, Franchettes. Double click, and as soon as you double click, you're going to see right there in the middle is, and this is blown up, it's going to see display VPC shell report. So this shell, I know you keep hearing this, what it means is this shell is what's in MilPDS, and so your EPR needs to match. You hear people say, check your records. This is what we're talking about. If your duty title, if your AFSC, I mean, if your last name is spelled incorrectly on any of those forms, that means that MilPDS needs to be updated, the system that we work on, so that the shell can be corrected and your EPR is the same. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Okay, next slide, sir. Okay, so you've saved all those documents, right? Okay, so you're going to click on all, I mean, in this case, there's just 4. Right click and combine files in Acrobat or Adobe or however it says in Acrobat. Okay, so these are all the documents. This is your opportunity to make sure that they're organized in the right way. So you can move these slides around. It's really an easy program to kind of work with. So the correct order, as it says there, is your SERP, your latest eval, and then in descending order, your FitRep, and then your shell is at the end. This is important because you can't go back afterwards. You're just going to have to redo this part. Hit combine. All these documents start moving together or combining together. If there is, I should have said this earlier, if there is a yellow triangle or if you get like an error when you're trying to combine, it's because one of your documents is not in the right format, and that's what that little yellow triangle will say. It will, show that this is the document. So you'll need to go back, save it correctly, and combine again. Okay, so now last part, right? We've got all of our documents. They're in a nice binder. I'm just asking you to upload them to VPC. Now your shell is already created. It was created 120 days from your closeout. And we send those VPC sites to the supervisor. So if you can't see it, then it's with your supervisor. And so you can just send the binder to them, or actually that's probably the best way, just send that to them. Okay, next slide, sir. Again, this is already done for you. You are just adding the binder. So same thing we did prior to this, right? We did work list, viewable, evaluations, and in this case, Franchette. You can open coordination, and this is what you're gonna see. So look at the bottom. I know this looks confusing. I really do. It's a lot of words, but just follow this slideshow. The very bottom, under additional attachments, you're going to add the attachment, and then submit. And that's it. Next slide. Here's some issues that I've seen, but I've already addressed them, right? If you can't see your site, it's because it's sitting with someone else, so we can reassign it, or you can work with your supervisor to give them the binder. And then if the shell is incorrect, it's probably because your information is incorrect and CSS can help. So I totally understand that this is a lot and everyone's saying, well, the CSS did it before, why can't they do it again? Just imagine Senior Airman Robinson doing what I just showed you for 240 people. And to be honest, it's something that you are going to have and learn and do throughout your entire career. It's very important for you to know your SURF, to know Prada, and really to teach those around you how to get this information. So I'm here, tell me your complaints, your gripes, it didn't work for you, I hate it, or any kind of questions. Please let me know right now.
I hate it.
I hate it. Who was that?
Gonza.
Oh, Gonzo. I know, it sucks, but it really is very important.
I'm just messing with you, ma'am. Just pulling your
I
chain.
know. We can't understand anything you're saying, so you should just get to work. Oh, I see there's just 7 people. So I encourage the rest of you, if you're paying attention, to pass this on to the rest of your enlisted peers.
We're gonna post this on the YouTube channel so people can go
Okay.
and watch that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions? Anybody else have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Yeah. All right, well, thank you for paying attention. If you forgot any of this stuff, remember it's on our CSS SharePoint page. Sorry, Nima, check, am I giving it to you?
Yeah, and just one thing to emphasize, I'll kind of slide over here. Just one thing to emphasize when it comes to awards and decks and checking your records and all those types of things. So it's vital for your career and your development. So we've had members who didn't receive air medals or aerial achievement medals when they were supposed to, and then they went for promotion and they missed it by 1 or 2 points. And that air medal, if it was in their records, they would have had 3 points. So now Awards and Decks is tracking that, and they're going to put you in for that medal. But it's also important for the member to make sure that they check their records and just to verify backup Awards and Decks to make sure that your records are accurate. You're getting the medals when you receive it, right? When you PCS, when you PCA, making sure that you're getting put in for those decorations, and then those are actually reflected in your records, right? So when you're pulling your binder, putting all that together, making sure that your records are accurate for what you've received, right? So if those aren't correct, we can go back and get those corrected prior to you testing. So as you're doing this, as you're pulling your binders, make sure that you're checking your records, they're accurate, and we can get you guys promoted. So any questions on that? Any concerns? Any last comments?
What's in that chat part? Anything?
I think that was just when we were unmuted and we were.
Thanks, May.
May was looking out for us. All right, that's all we got. If nobody has any questions, comments, concerns, we will post this on the Muley YouTube page, so folks that weren't able to tune in can to watch it, and then also if you guys want to go back and reference it, if you had some questions or something like that, it'll be available for you. All right, that's it. Signing off.